It just happened. I started practicing celibacy. First, it started off involuntarily. The break from the dates and casual sex was much needed. Don't get me wrong, it was a blast. Rushing home on Friday afternoons after work to shower and get ready for an exciting date. Usually, we'd go out to dinner, a movie, or grab some drinks. Talk, laugh, and smoke. Then later, we'd go back to my place and get down to business. My former coworker called sex the dance of the wooden eggplant, or the dance of the wooden doorknob. That's hilarious to me. It made guys laugh when I used that phrase. After the excitement of the date fizzled out, he'd get dressed and go home. The only thing we had in common was physical attraction, and that was it. Unbeknownst to them, my line of questioning was basically to see if they were deep thinkers or had some semblance of intelligence behind their handsome faces. Based on their answers, a decision was made to keep them as bedmates and pursue nothing more. Our conversations would go something like, "Hey, after watching that movie, how do you think it relates to inequality?" Him, "Man, it's messed up." Eagerly waiting for my date to expound on his thoughts, disappointment quickly set in. That was it? "Man, it's messed up." How profound. "Man, just shut up and take your clothes off. Thank you." My dates didn't have to be gymnasts or exhibitionists. Dirty talk is nice, and a little freakiness isn't bad, as long as we enjoyed one another. Simply put, I was bored with it all. It wasn't stimulating. Don't laugh, but when a date was coming over, my excitement grew. Singing and shaking my rump, "I'm gonna get some penis, I'm gonna get some penis." But the not so nice part of the date was when all the tension was released. There was an underlying feeling of mild disgust. It wasn't their fault, but my own. Right before abstaining from sex altogether, there were a few dates where I just wanted to hang out. That's all I wanted. The final straw for me was when one man in particular that I often enjoyed stopped by unannounced. He was coming from a house party and wanted to crash at my place. "First off, dummy, why wasn't I invited to go to the party with you?" I thought to myself as he stumbled to my couch. He was plastered and tried kicking off his boots. It would have been funny if ringing my doorbell didn't jolt me out of a deep sleep. Still standing by the door, he could see the look on my face. Slurring his words, he asked, "What? You don't want me here?" All arrows point to yes, dummy. Pick your drunk ass up and get the heck out of here. Feeling just a twinge of guilt watching him haphazardly put on his coat and stumble down the stairs onto the street, I slammed the door. That was self-righteous of me, wasn't it? But who just shows up to someone's house without calling? And why so late at night? Rude. There was just no interest to go out on any dates. Happily enjoying my own company, I created a new budget sheet, got a new gym membership, got a new haircut. There was nothing left to do but just catch up on movies and read books and meditate. Who knew spending time alone could be so satisfying? It was. Not too long ago, a friend of mine invited me to a birthday party. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't long before a few friends pointed out that a few guys were checking us out. No big deal. It's nothing new, but one of them was persistent in wanting to exchange numbers with me. He was sexy. He smelled so good. He was incredibly interesting. The chemistry was there, but I was fully committed to abstaining from sex. He convinced me to give him my cell phone number, and as soon as I got home, he called me. We talked on the phone for hours. We liked a lot of the same things, and he actually laughed at my jokes. A real genuine guy, but my focus was simply being his friend. One night, feeling pretty flirtatious, he began complimenting me on my looks. He made me giggle and blush a few times. He asked if he could come over, but I politely declined. I know how these things go. The physical attraction was easy, but this time around, my goal was to simply take it slow and not jump so quickly into a physical relationship. After we hung up, I showered and went to bed. You always know you're dreaming. It doesn't take long to figure out, but this dream was incredibly vivid. The dream was about my new friend, Ray. We were hanging out at my house, cuddled up on the couch, watching a Spike Lee joint. It was weird, because the movie was on, and it was obviously playing in the dream, but something about it was slightly different. Of course, that's because it was a dream. Snatching bits and pieces of my memory to play out as I slept. Ray smelled just as he did the night I met him. He sat next to me with his arm around me. It was so realistic. He turned to look at me in the eyes and leaned in for a kiss. Oh, hell. It's a dream. You can do whatever you want in a dream. By now, it had been an entire year since doing the dance of the wooden eggplant. Yes, I'm keeping track. But the kiss was everything. Dreams are unpredictable and can jump from scene to scene. Faces can change and the entire dream can shift. Looking into Ray's face, it changed. It was another man now. He didn't look like anyone I had ever met before. Our naked bodies, sweaty and hot, became intertwined. It was going to happen. Any second now, we would be, fully engaged. The man stopped kissing me to plant soft kisses on my neck. Ooh-wee, this is good. It was harmless, right? It was just a dream. It was becoming more intense, breathing faster and holding onto his body tighter when I felt him sink his teeth into my neck. Hey, that hurts. My skin gave way to his teeth. From the sounds of his slurping, it confirmed he drew blood. I woke up clutching my neck and screaming. That never happened before. This was so bizarre. My body felt like I had sex. It rattled me, but after about an hour of watching television, I was asleep again. You can do whatever you want in your dreams. Kill people, have sex, or be whoever you want to be. These wet dreams were becoming more frequent and going from sensuous and erotic to disturbing. My sleep was fitful, distressing, and ridiculous at times. In one dream, there were men about 3 feet tall chasing me with giant phalluses. What did I eat before I went to bed? How are they even able to run so fast with those big old things? I was being assaulted now. Bitten. Slapped. Punched. Kicked. I was being clawed at and tossed about. I knew I needed help. Before I went to bed, I took sleeping pills. It helped in making the dreams less vivid. Being proactive about seeking help was becoming a must. Searching on the internet for over an hour, I found a place. Serendipity's House. It's a metaphysical supply store. They sold crystals and herbs and incense and dream catchers. I took a trip out there. Not sure as to what to expect. The hardwood floor was so shiny. The lighting was warm and bright. There was a floral smell that hung in the air. Pulling my hat down as low as it could go, I nearly bumped into a display shelf. There were about 8 people in this store, but the place was spacious. The music playing over the speakers calmed me. What am I even looking for? Pulling up my cell phone, I did a search on what I should use for bad dreams. From behind, I heard a voice. Hi, are you finding everything okay? Honestly, I don't know what I'm looking for. Can you help me? The woman was short and slim. She wore red frame glasses. They were a little too big for her petite face, but they looked really nice on her. She smiled. Okay, let's start with what's going on. Looking around and lowering my voice, I explained to her that I was having really bad dreams. She nodded thoughtfully and asked me to follow her to a more secluded area of the store. There were tons and tons of books for sale, with a few benches. The store was really nice. Well, my name is Jasmine, and I'd be more than happy to help you. It took me a few moments to explain the nature of my dreams. She didn't seem shocked. She stood up and led me to a bookcase. After a few seconds, she grabbed a book. We sat down again and she flipped through it, and it was amazing that her huge glasses didn't fall off her tiny nose. Once she found what she was looking for, Jasmine scooted closer and showed me a picture of a monster with horns. That is an incubus. It's a demon. It sexually torments women. She pointed to a picture of one. It looked nothing like the ones in my dream. The dreams always started off with my type of guy. The kind of guys that piqued my interest. And then it turned into... The next step was to figure out how to liberate myself from these attacks. Jasmine led me around the store with a basket, placing a bundle of sage in it. She also selected incense and picked out a beautiful dream catcher too. It had white feathers on it, with glimmering crystals woven into the strings. She instructed me to place the dream catcher over my bed and smudge the room before I fell asleep. She handed me her card and said that if I needed help to give her a call. Jasmine promised that the demons wouldn't bother me anymore upon following the instructions. Cleaning my room thoroughly, I smudged my room. Standing on the bed with hammer and nails, I hung the dream catcher right above my bed. Laying there, figuring that reading some scriptures would help too. When I fell asleep, the dream started. Within the dream, I found myself in an office setting. It looked like I was in a job interview. The man interviewing me was so handsome. I was hanging on to his every word. He said he wanted me to meet his colleagues. The door opened. Several men entered the room, staring at me in ways that made me feel uncomfortable. The dream catcher, it was doing its job. They couldn't come any closer. It must have been frustrating for them because their faces were morphing into ugly demons. All around me, I could hear demonic growls. The interviewer spoke to me sweetly, but he couldn't touch me. How do you fight against an incubus and succubus demon? Don't have sex in your dreams, or they will attach themselves to you, giving you nights of pleasure and torture. If you find yourself having a wet dream, wake the heck up.